Hey everyone. Um, so I did some hang clean into a squat. First time I've done that in like, I don't know, probably over a year. Um, but anyway, today I'm going to talk about ER stereotypes, um, which honestly, there's a lot of truth to it. You can see like videos on YouTube of people like making fun of people who work in the ER. Um, and mostly it's just comedy, but some of it is very true. And you can see like these characteristics on pretty much like everyone. And I wouldn't say everyone, but to different level of degrees. Um, in one of my other videos, I said that I have a high risk tolerance, which like a lot of people who work in the ER have. Um, but I mean, different people have different levels of showing some of these traits. I mean, I wrote it down on my notes app. But yeah, talking about like the high risk tolerance kind of inspired me to talk a little bit more about the stereotypes. Um, okay, this one's probably oh yeah. So this applies to pretty much everyone who works in the ER: the doctors, nurses, paramedics, EMTs, the phlebotomists, uh, respiratory therapist, if they have like designated in the ER, pretty much everyone that works, the radiologist techs, um, you know, you hang out in the ER enough, you pick up on some of these. Um, I I have read that ADHD. Um, yeah, I like pretty much all the nurses. Well, not even just the nurses, the doctors too. ADHD. I have a theory why people who have ADHD are, um, was it inspired to work in the ER? I think it has to do with people with ADHD not being able to focus unless it's like something very important. Um, so when you're in the ER and people are literally dying, um, it actually is helpful. That's my theory. But I mean, it's kind of just like a joke. I mean, it's true, but you know, it's crazy the amount of people um, with ADHD at the in the ER. Messy. Yeah, I think like I wouldn't say dirty, but definitely disorganized. Um, Super disorganized people. Um, it's like the classic type, like the person who has a very disorganized room but knows where everything is. Um, Things can get pretty chaotic in the ER, patients everywhere. Um, so, people who are very comfortable, uh, disorganized situations, you know. Also, I mean, the ER is a very dirty place as well as disorganized. Like, I mean, bodily fluids are everywhere, and of course we clean it, but I mean, there's like nooks and crannies that I'm sure never get clean. And the floor, the ER, like the floor is disgusting. I wouldn't put a black light to it for money. I will be willfully ignorant of just how gross that floor is. It doesn't matter how many times you clean it, you know, it's just like gone forever, you know. Some of the things that like, God, I don't want to get too graphic on here. Just trust that the floor is terrible. And there's like a bunch of nooks and crannies too, you know, edges in between that are just, never cleaned. I heard a story of one of the travel nurses. They signed like, I don't know, 10, 15-week contracts. So they're only there for a couple months at a time in different ERs. They went to one ER and they like got a marker, expo marker, and they like, I don't know, put a mark on one of the desks and at the beginning of the contract, and 2, 3 months later, they looked at the end and the mark was still there, like it never got cleaned. Anyway, that's the point. Very dirty place. So, attracts dirty people. Okay, to the point. A lot of people who work in the ER. because I don't know, it requires you to just you have to. There's a lot going on, so you have to make sure you use choice words and um, get to the point. Essentially, you you know, patients give like a very long story. They give all like these details, and none of them are the important details, you know? So, um, people that work in the ER, they tend to, use very choice words, um, give you the important information, and not really focus on anything else. Kind of goes with the ADHD thing. Um, yeah, I also wrote down rude slash scary. Yeah, a lot of I mean, well, the ER can get super stressful, super busy. So, there's a lot of like a resting bitch face. People just like look absolutely like terrible. Um, and like there's a very high burnout rate in like the ER. Has to do with COVID. Has to do with well, not just COVID, even before that. Um, I mean, it's just so busy, and people the like a lot of times your job will ask you to work a double shift or like stay on a few extra hours, blah blah blah, and you tend to get pretty overworked. Also, like the stress level's insane. So, um, yeah, I mean, people like when they show up to work are just like they want to die. And super fair. Um, my AirPod fell out. But yeah, I mean, they're also very scary. Um, like a fight. I mean, like the people that you want to be around if like a fight breaks out. There's like some of those like scary people that you're thankful when like a patient starts like wanting to fight everyone that works in the ER. You're thankful that they're there. So there's a lot of that. Um, yeah, adrenaline junkie. Um, Yeah, I think this kind of goes with the high risk tolerance thing, but there's like a lot of people that, they're thrill seekers. That's why they went into emergency medicine. I suppose you get this a little bit more in the ambulance. No. Honestly, it's the same, hospital and ambulance. But, these people, I mean, I'm not gonna act like I'm not one of them too, They go into it to see some stuff. And yeah, I mean, you'll definitely get that. If that's what you're looking for, you will get that. Um, yeah, okay. Okay, this one I like. Use Google before procedure. Yeah, this one, there's like TikToks of people catching the doctors or nurses or whatever, um, Googling like how to do this splint, how to do this whatever procedure. Like literally like right before they like walk over to the patient and doing it, like they get caught. um, like, oh, like here's the guidelines or how to evaluate this condition, uh, like literally like on their phone. I mean, listen, the emergency department deals with everything, Healthcare in America is pretty bad. Um, you have to wait like a million years to get a appointment with your primary care physician. So all the, you know, all these conditions walk through the ER, so you have to kind of be like the everything medicine. Like people immigrated to the country illegally, they don't have health care, they don't have like a primary care physician in this country. Anyway, like a bunch of stuff just comes through, and you have to know how to do everything. So the secret, what the secret is you have to go to the bathroom and then look up the YouTube video on how to do it because you don't want to freak out the patient and make it seem like you don't know what you're doing, even if you don't know what you're doing, which, I mean, that's the secret. Life pro tip, go to the bathroom and Google it before. Don't do it in front of the patient. Okay, this one also is fun. Tattoos. I don't know what it is. I guess, like I don't know. I wouldn't say like people who work in the ER are like all edgy, but I mean some are. And I don't know. People who get like tattoos are also, have an edgy aesthetic. Ironically, I don't actually have any tattoos. I wish I did. Um, I just don't have any money right now. Um, please subscribe. Okay. Yeah, trauma shears. This one is the one I get a lot too. Um, whenever I tell people that I like work in the ER, they're like, "Oh, you like have the scissors." And I'm like, "Yes, I do have the scissors." Um, there's like a bunch of different trauma shears. And like we all love our trauma shears. It's true. Uh, we do have, I mean, like they're extremely useful. Like the first thing, like when a really critical patient comes through the door, is we cut off all their clothes. Um, because like sometimes like if there's like a really bad trauma or whatever, you can't like you can't take it off of them. Um, and gotta focus on what's important. So who cares that you have a nice shirt on? It's getting cut in half. Um, yeah, I mean, with like fractures and all that stuff, you literally like can't move around the body part because it hurts so much. Um, anyway, that's just a few that I have written down. There's way more ER stereotypes. Um, I'm only scratching the surface. And yeah, these are just the ones that I've noticed. It's pretty true, you know. But I love what I do. Uh, it's it's something. Um, anyway, I can talk more about these stereotypes later, but I'm literally out of footage at this point, so I'm just gonna end it there. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow.